The History of the Zodiac, Part 2. When we left off, in observing the annual return of the rising of the Nile, there was always accompanied by the appearance of a beautiful star, which at the time showed itself in the direction of the sources of the Nile, and it seemed to warn the husbandmen to be careful not to be surprised by the coming inundations or flooding. The Ethiopian compared this timely warning to that of the animal which by barking gives warning to the danger, and it styled it the dog star Sirius. As astronomy came to be more developed and studied, imaginary figures were traced all over the heavens, to which the different stars were assigned. Chief among them were those that lay along the path which the sun traveled, as he climbed along the north and descended to the south, lying within certain limits and extending to an equal distance on each side of the line of equal days and nights. This belt, curving like a snake, was termed the Zodiac. At the vernal equinox, 2,455 years before our era, the sun was entering the sign of the constellation of Taurus, the bull. Having passed through, since he commenced at the winter solstice to ascend northward, the signs of Aquarius, Pisces, and Aries, on entering the first of which he reached the lowest light of his journey southward. From Taurus he passed through Gemini and Cancer. Leo, he reached the terminus of his journey northward. Then from Leo to Virgo and Libra, he entered Scorpio at the autumnal equinox and journeyed southward through Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Capricorn to Aquarius, the terminus of his journey southward. The path by which he journeyed through these signs became the ecliptic, and that which passes through the two equinoxes, the equator. Knowing nothing of the immutable laws of nature, and whenever the sun headed south, they feared it would be lost forever. When it returned, they, of course, rejoiced at their yearly festivals. Winter solstice comes, struggling against the malign influence of Aquarius and Pisces, and amicably received by the lamb Aries, when he entered Taurus at the vernal equinox. They rejoiced still more at the assurance of longer days and shorter nights. The season of seed time had come, and summer and harvest would follow, and they lamented when the malign influence of the venomous scorpion and the vindictive archer, along with the filthy, ill-omened he-goat, dragged the sun down toward the winter solstice. Arriving there, they said, he had been slain, and had gone to the realm of darkness, or the underworld. And remaining 3 days there, he rose again and ascended northward to redeem the earth from darkness of winter, which soon became emblematical of evil and sin and suffering, as spring, summer, and autumn became emblems of happiness and immortality. Soon they personified the sun and worshipped him under the name of Osiris, and transmuted the legend of his descent among the winter signs into a fable of his death, his descent into the infernal regions, and his eventual resurrection. The moon became Isis, the wife of Osiris, and winter, as well as the desert or the ocean into which he descended, became Typhon, the spirit, or principle of evil, warring against and destroying Osiris. From the journey of the sun through the zodiac came the legend of the 12 labors of Hercules and the incarnations of Vishnu and Buddha. Hence came the legend of the murder of the Kurum, representative of the sun, by the 3 fellow crafts, symbol of the 3 winter signs, Capricornus, Aquarius, and Pisces, who assailed him at the 3 gates of heaven and slew him at the winter solstice. Hence the search for him by the 9 fellow crafts, the other 9 signs, the finding, burial, and resurrection. And this, you should know, is the craft from Freemasonry. The celestial Taurus opened the new year, was the creative bull of the Hindus and the Japanese, breaking with his horn the egg out of which the world was born. Hence was the bull Apis was worshipped by the Egyptians and reproached as the golden calf by Aaron in the desert. Hence the cow was sacred to the Hindus. Hence, from the sacred and beneficent signs of Taurus and Leo, the human-headed winged lions, a bull, and palaces of Kuyunjuk and Nimrod, like which were the cherubim set by Solomon in his temple. And hence the 12 brazen or bronze oxen on which the laver of brass was supported. The celestial vulture or eagle, rising and setting with the scorpion, was substituted in its place, and in many cases on account of the malign influences of the latter. And thus the 4 great periods of the year were marked by the bull, the lion, the man, who is Aquarius, and the eagle. Afterward, the ram or lamb became an object of adoration when in his turn he opened the equinox to deliver the world from the wintry reign of darkness and evil. In projection of the celestial sphere, the astronomical priests, the zodiac, and the constellations arranged in a circle presented their halves in diametrical opposition, and the hemisphere of winter was said to be adverse or opposed and contrary to that of summer. Over the summer ruled a king, or Osiris, or Ormuzd, enlightened and beneficent. Over the fallen angels, evil genii, or demons, or devs, or subterranean from the empire of darkness.